In view of Hong Kong's rapidly aging population, the government plans to move forward with major enhancements of elder care services. At the same time, it will vigorously promote its active aging program and place heavy emphasis on the concept of elders cared for in a home environment. Secretary for Labor and Welfare, Matthew Cheung told China Daily in an exclusive interview,
"We have to prepare the grounds for an aging society. That's why we are proceeding on several fronts. First of all, we have to provide enough facilities in terms of elderly care, not only in terms of elderly homes, but also in terms of providing for community and home care. And in fact, all elderly people tend to prefer to stay in the community, right at home, rather than in an elderly home for very obvious reasons. So we have to step up our efforts in terms of providing for community and home care in Hong Kong, not only now but in the long term. At the same time, we are mindful that the demand for home care, particularly institutions, will still be increasing in the years ahead. So we have, at the same time, to increase the provision for institutional services in terms of residential care places, not only subvented places, but also in terms of self-financing places, and also at the same time, upgrade the quality of the private care homes in Hong Kong. So we are proceeding on various fronts.
The Hong Kong government has promoted some active aging programs aimed at encouraging senior citizens to step out again, to become full participants in the community.
Our objective, in fact, in terms of providing for the elderly people, it's also at the same time promote active aging. By this we mean really to provide an environment in which retirees can really lead a meaningful golden years, as it were. One of the things that we've been doing, in fact quite an important initiative, which we launched recently, is to provide for a so-called $2 scheme. A $2, in fact, it's public transport concession fare scheme, whereby we reckon that at the moment close to 1 million elderly citizens aged 65 and above are using the service. We will be expanding the service from MTR, the 4 franchise buses, and in around March this year, we will be actually going forward and provided even for ferries as well as rental bus services. So we are talking about encouraging our senior citizens to go into the community, move around, and lead an active life.
Many of today's retirees have high education and spending power. To address their needs, the government will spend $900 million on the modernization of 237 elderly centers, adding internet service, fitness equipment, dancing and physiotherapy facilities. Cheung also believes the new old age living allowance is an important milestone to help the elderly poor. They need to declare their assets, he says, but the rules are still quite generous.
The introduction of the new old age living allowance, in fact, marks an important milestone in the provision of economic and financial relief for the needy group of elderly citizens in Hong Kong. We are talking about providing them, as a start, $2,200 a month. At the moment, we reckon that at least over 400,000 elderly citizens will benefit. And in fact, the first batch of 290,000 elderly citizens will get their first lot of payment of over $6,000 by early April this year. Now we are talking about, in the end, really supplementing the living expenses of these group of elderly citizens so that they can live a better life.
The current government's pledge to draw a poverty line signifies its determination, commitment, and political will to alleviate poverty. Cheung shared his views.
It represents a very important step forward in helping our poor population. The poverty line signifies really the commitment, the courage, political will, and the determination of the present administration to tackle the problem of poverty in Hong Kong. Now, the poverty line will serve 3 purposes. First of all, it really identifies the group of needy citizens that we need to help. The second purpose is, of course, to provide a guideline for policy making formulating measures targeted at this group of needy people. The third purpose, of course, is to measure the effectiveness of government measures in terms of poverty alleviation. So it serves three very important purposes.